Good morning, everyone. I'm Harry Haynes, a member of the TRIO Executive Board, and I will be in charge of introducing our speaker this evening. Meet Mable Taplin, RN. Mable S. Taplin, proudest accomplishment is her long nursing career. She has ministered to people from all walks of life for more than 2 decades. She began as a licensed professional registered nurse in Chicago, Illinois, and then leveraged her experience to hold healthcare positions in clinical, community, and corporate settings. Notably, Mable is a former director of health promotions and education at Chicago's Human Resources Development Institute, where she oversaw the implementation of disease prevention programs. Her clinical specialties includes cardiology, oncology, and infectious disease. Mable's experience as a clinical instructor and hands-on executive punctuated what she always knew in her heart: human connection is critical in everything we do. In 2009, committed to recreate the early guidance that made such an impact in her life, Mable founded Joni Girls Heart, or JGH, a nonprofit organization that prepares adolescent girls of color for college and introduces them to career opportunities in healthcare. Under her leadership, JGH participants embarked on international medical missions trips to Haiti, South Africa, and Jamaica. They also launched local community projects and participated in college tours. Mable has traveled to more than 30 countries and counting across 6 continents, exploring new ideas and cultures. She helps individuals to strive through coaching, seminars, and global experiences. Mable also enjoys sharing her personal journey in life, enhancing insights on the DiscovHer blog and her soon-to-be-released books, Words of Wisdom from Women Around the World, and publications like Essence Magazine. Mable earned her Master's of Nursing degree with a focus in community health and leadership from North Park University. She received her Bachelor's of Nursing degree, cum laude, from Howard University. When she is not changing lives and empowering people, she loves to curl up with a good book and try new recipes. I would like to introduce to some and present to others Ms. Mable Taplin.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. You know, when you're sitting in these situations and somebody reads about you, you just like, I cannot believe that that's me. It doesn't sound like me at all. But good morning to everybody. Greetings from cold weather Chicago. I am delighted to be in your city this morning in warm weather. I'm only going to be with you before you for a couple of minutes, but I want to extend my gratitude to Dr. Grew and to the Delgado Community family. Thank you so much for allowing me to share this morning. So today I want to celebrate class of 2018. You made it. You are the first generation to attend college. Because of you, the trajectory of your family's legacy has changed forever. Let's take a moment to reflect on what you've accomplished. You've overcome naysayers. You've overcome naysayers. You sacrificed by committing your time and your money. You missed a couple of meals or ate a little more. You participated in late night study sessions while cramming for exams, multiple visits to the TRIO office, all while juggling job and family responsibilities. Today we salute you. I can only imagine that today when you walked in the room, you heard your own personal theme song. Some of you may have heard, "Ain't no stopping us now, we're on the move." And some of you have heard, "Starting from the bottom, now we're here." Starting from the bottom, now we're here. Give yourselves a round of applause. Today is your day. Today represents the closing of one chapter and the beginning of another. But let's be clear, it's not the end of your journey, but it is the beginning of endless opportunities for you to explore the best that life has to offer. I want to share with you 4 gems that I believe will help you to live your dream life. So the first gem is give yourself permission to put yourself first. Stay focused. You've already accomplished this in some form, or else you wouldn't be here today. But life has a way, as it seems, that the longer that you live, the more responsibilities you have, the more other people place their expectations on you. Then one day you look up and you're living somebody else's wish for you, or your true desires seem to unknowingly fall away. I spent years, almost 20 years exactly, trying to pocket this gem. You see, I was sitting where you're sitting today, and I put people's needs and wants ahead of my own. Putting myself first was particularly difficult for me because I am the oldest child and the only girl. My grandmother instilled within me that my life priorities were God first, family second, and Mable last. And I can say that my life reflected this value system. You see, 2 weeks before my mother passed, she said, "Mable, I'm not afraid to die. I'm afraid of leaving my baby. I did not have enough time with him. He didn't get enough of me." My youngest brother, Isaiah, was 13 at the time. I told my mother, "I'll take care of Isaiah. I'll instill in him everything that you instilled in me. Don't worry." Not without a struggle, but I made sure that all of my brothers graduated from college. And after my last brother finished, I said, "Mable, it's your turn." It was 20 years after I dreamed of living abroad that I decided to quit my job and travel solo around the world. It was like once I gave myself permission to fulfill what was truly in my heart, I heard my theme song by Diana Ross, "I'm coming out. I want the world to know. Gotta let it show." I gave myself permission to see how life would be outside of the United States. I wanted to experience life as an African-American female traveling solo. I wanted to understand and experience other cultures. I wanted to know what it would be like living outside of the United States. You see, my desire to live abroad was not new. I dreamed of studying abroad while I was an undergrad at Howard University more than 20 years ago. But my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I was devastated. Traveling abroad became a distant memory. I wanted to quit school, but I was reminded by one of my teachers that I had to finish nursing school. She reminded me of the hard work that she had witnessed in me during my tenure. She reminded me that she saw greatness in me. Let me pause here to salute the TRIO staff that sacrifice day in and day out to make sure that students have the opportunity to pursue their education. Let's give them a round of applause. Like many of you, I was the first college graduate in my family. In fact, my parents weren't able to help me with my schoolwork after the 4th grade. While going to college was always expected, I had to figure out how to get there, but more importantly, how to stay there. I had to give myself permission to put myself first. I had to get focused. So make peace with prioritizing making your dream a reality. You gotta be committed to putting yourself first and staying focused. The second gem I want to talk to you about is letting go. You have to be willing to challenge and let go of beliefs that no longer align with who you are and who you are becoming. Insert the belief that because you are a single mother, you can't get your degree, or you're too old to go back to school or change careers. Or my favorite, Black people don't do that, or Black people don't go there. Just because you're of a certain ethnicity does not mean you cannot live a specific life or the life of your dreams. Those beliefs are untrue. Kill them. You gotta let go of people whose lives and value systems don't reflect who you are and who you're becoming. Insert negative Niecy, lazy Larry, conniving Cookie, and begging Brian. This includes family too. Your opinionated auntie who says, I don't know why you want to go back to school or change jobs. You got a good job. She might not be able to envision a different lifestyle. It doesn't make her a bad person. She just may not be the best person to influence your decision making. By the way, if good does not line up with the dream life that you want for yourself, then good is not good enough. Steve Jobs says, don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. You gotta let go of environments that don't nurture you or give you the space you need in life to really grow. You might have to skip a few invitations, parties, festivals, and crawfish boils. A long time ago, I decided that I had to stop visiting some of my family members for barbecues. Because quite frankly, there was always an argument or a fight or a disagreement. It was quite predictable. The later the night got, the more smoking, drinking, and trash talking. And inevitably, somebody would take it too far. And let me just say, the police was familiar with our address. You gotta let go of the past. The past is the not so good decisions that you made regarding managing your relationships. The past is the wounds that you suffer from people's unkind deeds and or words toward you. You have to decide that your past does not define you. When you look at me, you don't see the daughter of a crack-addicted father from the south side of Chicago who grew up in the crack era of the 1980s and 90s, who grew up in the 60620 zip code, which is the 9th most violent zip code in the United States. You don't see a young woman who has been kidnapped and robbed at gunpoint twice. Why? Because I made a decision a long time ago that my past would not define me and that I would not hold on to it because my hands and my heart needed to be open to my future. Look at your neighbor and say, I'm letting go. That was weak and unbelievable. I'm letting go.
I'm letting go.
Absolutely. So you started the mental preparation of letting go of some folks, some places, people, and things, and you've given yourself permission to put yourself first. Now it's time to get in action. The third gem is getting in radical motion. When I decided that I wanted to live out of the country, I had to make some preparations. I had to tell my father, y'all, his only girl wants to move out of the country. Y'all know my daddy had a fit, right? He laid across my kitchen table and said, you trying to kill me. I said, Daddy, I'm not trying to kill you. This is not about you. He said, you can't move to another state? I said, no, Daddy, I want to move out of the country. He said, who's going to take care of me? I said, Daddy, Mama's been gone 15 years. You better find a girlfriend, a wife, a special friend, somebody. He went out and found a girlfriend 6 weeks later and called me and said, I found somebody I think you might like. Side note, for those of you that are holding on to people thinking that life just ain't gonna be right if you leave them or if you distance yourself from them, you might want to remember my father, that you may be the one that's standing in the way of them seeking out something better for themselves because they are holding on to you. So I sold my house and my car and most of my possessions. I turned my living room into a boutique on the weekends and held a yard sale. Then I moved in with a girlfriend to save even more money. and I simply began to daydream about the possibilities of my journey. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I knew that it was going to be good. Michael Bernard Beckwith says it like this: when you believe more in what you don't see than in what you do see, then what you don't see, you will see. And what you do see, you won't see. The Apostle Paul says it like this: faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. In order to live your daydream, you got to remember to get in motion. Don't talk about it, be about it. The fourth gem is don't let the fear of the unknown stop you from seeking change or better opportunities for yourself. You see, a few months passed after I moved in with my girlfriend, and I began to think about the what ifs. Y'all know about the what ifs, right? What if I don't like it? What if my family needs me and I'm too far away? What if I want to come home and I can't? What if I don't speak the language? What if I get sick? What if I run out of money? Did I mention that I have a proclivity to anxious thoughts? So you can imagine that the what ifs went on forever and ever and ever. I was slowly allowing fear and doubt to creep in. But then I recalled a conversation that I had with my mother many years ago. See, my mother had breast cancer, and she had completed 2 rounds of chemotherapy. It was a day where I had dropped her off at her oncologist's office. When I came back to pick her up, she was waiting downstairs, leaned up against the side of the building. I remember it like it was yesterday. That was odd because she walked with a cane, and I often reminded her to wait upstairs for me so that I could help her downstairs. But this day, she was downstairs without me. When I saw her propped up against the side of the building, I was alarmed. I pulled up the car and I ran to her, and I saw that she was crying. And I said, "Mommy, what's wrong?" And she said, "I'm gonna die." And I said, "Who said you're gonna die?" She said, "The doctor. He said, Ernestine, you are going to die." I was devastated. Who does that? Who says that to a patient? I got my mother in the car, and we were driving down 27th in Michigan, in Chicago. And I looked at her and I said, "Mommy, I don't like this doctor. Why do you continue to see him? Please change doctors. I work for an oncologist. I've already talked to him. He said that he would accept you as a patient." She turned, she looked at me, and she said, "Mable, I don't know those demons over there. I know these demons over here." Now, as a 23-year-old, I could not fathom how somebody would stay in a situation that was potentially harmful for them, and they had a better option. I looked at her through the eyes of an inexperienced child, and I judged her. My mother never changed doctors, and she died later that year. I'll never know if changing doctors could have saved her life. After begging her that day and several days after, something changed in me. I made a commitment to myself that I would not make a decision or make a decision for fear of the unknown. You see, the saying goes, the grass is greener on the other side, but it's dirt. Implied in that saying is, or you think that the grass is greener on the other side, but it's dirt. Implied in that saying is, you might as well stay in the green grass because you don't know what's on the other side, right? Well, I made a commitment that I was going to see what was on the other side. I was not going to stand in dying grass, brown grass, for fear that on the other side the grass would be the same. So anytime in my own life that I think about staying in a situation that's not good for me or that is painful for me, I commit to at least going to see what else is out there. So I want to implore you today, don't let fear of the unknown stop you from seeking change or better opportunities for yourself. He mentioned my nonprofit, Joni Girl's Heart, named for my mother. Her name is Joni Girl. You see, I dreamed about starting Joni Girl's Heart in 2006, but I thought it was a dream that was too big for me. It actually took me 5 years to start the organization. But guess what? Last Saturday, I was in Austin, Texas, attending the graduation of one of the first girls that went through my program. She now has a bachelor's degree in kinesiology. She wants to be a physical therapist. Who knew when God placed a dream in me almost 12 years ago that I would meet this young lady and her participation in my program would change her life? So I want to ask you graduates to consider that your daydreams are not just about you. Somebody's destiny is directly tied to you living out your dreams. Give yourself permission to put yourself first and stay laser focused. Let go of people, places, and things that don't serve who you are. Get in radical motion and don't let fear of the unknown stop you. Remember, the true meaning of life can only be discovered by you. Don't quit your daydream, live it. Thank you.
Let's give Ms. Taplin another round of applause. Thank you. And Ms. Taplin, on behalf of the Student Support Services Program, including Mr. Alexis, who's here, Ms. Jeannie Brown, Ms. Brandy Anime, and myself, we'd like to present this certificate of appreciation to you in recognition of your outstanding presentation to the participants in the Student Support Services Program at Delgado Community College during our award celebration given this day, May 11, 2018.